The security atmosphere in Nigeria has taken an incredibly sharp and unexpected turn as we enter March 2026, following a series of high-level statements coming out of the Office of the National Security Advisor. For months, the nation has been gripped by a relentless wave of kidnappings and rural banditry. But the narrative coming from the top security echelons is shifting toward a strategy that many are finding difficult to swallow. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, who has been under immense pressure to deliver results, recently found himself at the center of a massive public debate after remarks surfaced regarding the approach the federal government should take toward the perpetrators of these crimes. While the headlines suggest a soft stance, the reality on the ground is far more complex and involves a mixture of tactical pressure and a search for a permanent end to the bloodshed that has turned many parts of the north into a literal war zone. The controversy stems from a reported shift in tone, where the idea of viewing these non-state actors through a lens of reconciliation rather than total annihilation is being whispered in the corridors of power. This comes at a time when the federal government is vehemently denying reports of paying a 2 billion naira ransom for the release of the St. Mary's Catholic School students, insisting that their primary strategy remains intelligence-led operations and military pressure. However, the debate intensified when the idea of a whole-of-society approach was introduced during a national dialogue in February, where Ribadu emphasized that most security problems are rooted in local dynamics and that when communities are empowered to resolve their own disputes, the need for the military reduces. This nuanced position, which some critics have simplified into a call for dialogue with brothers, has sparked a firestorm of reactions from Nigerians who feel that after years of brutality, there should be no room for a soft landing for bandits. The National Security Advisor is walking a very thin tightrope, trying to balance the aggressive military operations, which President Tinubu recently hailed as excellent and courageous, with a desperate need to de-escalate the violence that continues to displace thousands of farming families. Ribadu has consistently maintained that the federal government will not negotiate with terrorists in a way that encourages further criminality, yet his calls for local community engagement and traditional leadership involvement are being interpreted by many as an opening for a controversial amnesty-style dialogue. As we analyze this high-stakes game of national security and the conflicting messages coming from our leaders, it is very important that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay informed on these critical issues affecting our safety and our future. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you these deep dives into the real stories behind the headlines. And by subscribing, you join a community dedicated to holding leadership accountable through factual reporting. Moving back into the heart of the security drama, the tension is further heightened by the ongoing public feud between Nuhu Ribadu and the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai. El-Rufai has made sensational allegations, claiming that the Office of the National Security Advisor has been involved in clandestine activities and even accusing them of trying to orchestrate his arrest. The NSA has fired back, challenging the former governor to provide evidence to the Department of State Services. This internal friction between powerful figures in the north is creating a distracting sideshow at a time when the focus should be purely on reclaiming the ungoverned forest spaces that have become safe havens for bandits. The introduction of the forest guards concept is Ribadu's latest strategic move to regain control of these territories, using specialized units to deny the bandits space, finance, and movement. While the National Security Advisor insists that this is a proactive, intelligence-led approach to nip insecurity in the bud, the public remains skeptical because of past failed peace deals with bandit leaders who eventually returned to their criminal ways. The question on everyone's lips is whether you can truly have a productive dialogue with people who have caused so much pain, or if the government is simply trying to manage a situation that has grown beyond its immediate military capacity. As Ribadu pushes for a more integrated security framework, the citizens are watching closely to see if this shift in language will translate into real safety on the highways and in the villages, or if it will be seen as another episode of treating the enemies of the state with kid gloves. The story is still unfolding, and with the 27 general elections already casting a shadow over every government policy, the stakes for Nuhu Ribadu and the entire security architecture could not be higher. They are fighting not just the bandits in the forest, but a massive crisis of public trust that demands transparency, results, and a clear and unwavering commitment to justice for the victims of violence.